Hey everyone, Jeff Mills here. Welcome to today's webinar. And gosh, I'm starting this webinar with like a heavy heart. It's like the worst possible. I'm in the worst possible position today to be starting a webinar because something just happened to me personally that is gonna blow you guys away. And it's nothing like family issues or anything like tragedy, but it's a business tragedy. We had a business death yesterday or on Thursday. And I've been writing you guys, if you guys have been tracking with me all week long about some of the different emails I've been sending out about what's going on Facebook. I started off by telling you the story of my friend who had lost his Facebook account a few days ago and how devastated he was. And then a couple days after that, another guy that I work with in one of my Facebook groups had his account shut down. And wouldn't you believe it? It's like, what the world? But Thursday, Facebook shuts my ads account down. That's right. And you're looking at it here. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Just give me a quick yeah in the chat. Can you guys see this email here I got from Facebook? Everybody type in the chat if you can see my screen. Okay. So this email you see here from Facebook, it says, hi Jeff, Facebook is committed to presenting ads to our users that are useful, non-intrusive, and we continually work to increase the relevance of ads. Our goal is to provide the highest quality user experience. We reserve the right to reject any advertising we deem contrary to these objectives. Similarly, we reserve the right to close an account creating ads contrary to these objectives. For this reason, if any of your ads have been removed or your ad account has been disabled, we will be unable to reactivate either. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Yeah, right. Please consider this decision final. So that's what I had show up on Thursday. And I feel devastated because this is a huge loss for me, because I was making a course to teach people social media marketing through Facebook, because I was playing by the rules with Facebook, and for no reason that I can determine, they've shut my ads account down. And this just goes back to the concept of you should not be sharecropping in someone else's field. You know, sharecropping is when a farmer rents out his field to a bunch of people to come plant their crops in that field. They grow their crops, but that farmer still owns the field. And that farmer can make decisions. He can change his mind. He can do whatever he wants and change the rules. And that's what Facebook just did to me. I'm farming in their crops. I'm planting ads in their world. I'm having success. I'm making a lot of money through Facebook ads. And so are my friends. And all of a sudden, because of whatever glitch inside their... and I think it's a glitch. Something went wrong on their system, because all of a sudden all my ads are getting disapproved, and then they'd send me messages saying, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, your ads are fine. But whatever, their little system there kicked me out. Now I'm not going to be, crying with my, head between my legs and just being sad and go off to the sunset and say it's over for me. That's why I've got my good friends John Sugar and Luke Sample here today, because they're going to share with you guys how to beat the system and never have to rely on Google or Facebook or social media or any type of other third-party site or third-party system where all the leads are hanging out, because they're going to show you guys the system today that is going to blow your mind about how you don't have to worry about these other things. You don't have to worry about your accounts getting shut down. Here's something else I wanted to show you. It's so fluky what Facebook can do to you guys, because here is this guy, Social Fixer. Social Fixer, he just had a Facebook page. It's so volatile what can happen to you guys if you don't follow the rules, or Facebook just looks at you weird one day and decides to screw you. But this guy had 338,000 likes on one of his pages. So the Social Fixer page, huge following, 1.47 million followers, very active social media site. And then one day he gets this message from Facebook right here. It says, your page is unpublished. They took his page down that he had, hundreds of thousands of people following him, and they took it down. And they just shut it off completely. And he appealed it, And then they went and they just completely removed his page right here. Your page has been completely removed. All 340,000 fans wiped out in a split second because of some technicality and some glitch. Now, you guys, I'm not here to be a fear monger. I'm not here to worry you, but I'm also here to give you guys a reality check. You don't own the content inside of Facebook. You can be shut down in a matter of minutes. You can be shut down on Google. I've been hit by Google. Now I'm hit by Facebook. It sucks. So we're going to show you guys today what you've got to do to beat the game and get ahead of the game. John Sugart's here. Luke Sample's here. We've actually had these guys speak with us before, about a year ago or so. And they're going to share with you guys today a system where we're going to watch us today make money live on the presentation. And you're going to see how these guys make money, and everything they're doing you can duplicate. Everything they're going to show you today, every single one of you on this webinar today, you can do this. It doesn't take a lot of technical skill. It doesn't take a huge amount of money. It just takes a desire to have a system that beats the system. So I want to know from everybody who's on this webinar today, I want to see an expression of a positive affirmation. How many of you on this webinar today want to beat the system and make a huge amount of money? Say something in the chat box to let me know you're alive. Who here wants to make a bunch of money and do it really cool, awesome methods that work and have been working? I wouldn't bring these guys back a year later if what they shared with us a year ago wasn't working anymore. So a year later, they're still doing what they're doing, and it's still producing results for people. And if you guys want to see results in your business, then pay attention to everything you're going to listen to. And at the end of this webinar, obviously there's going to be a very special offer given, and I highly recommend every single one of you get whatever is going to be offered to you today, because it is an amazing, amazing platform. So, John, who wants to start? You or Luke?
That's going to be me. Let me.
Okay.
Well, Luke's going to do he's going to man the board here, so let me make him presenter real quick.
Got it.
Luke, did you grab it? There you go. All right, great. Hey, welcome everybody. Like Jeff said, we've got just some fantastic stuff, and we have been doing this. Well, Jeff, we started actually in November of 12. And we have been just destroying, and our story is very similar. I mean, as Jeff kind of mentioned, he was hit by Google. Now he's been hit by Facebook. We kind of have a similar story. So anyway, what the topic of today is all about making money online. The title there, how we made over $2 million online. That was, it's actually a lot more than that, but that's with this method that we're going to show you today in a pretty short time period relative to that kind of volume of money. So with that being said, let's talk about what we're going to cover. Look, we're going to get into how you can crush Teespring with what we call a new hybrid traffic source. Now, if you're not into Teespring, that's okay, but I know a lot of you guys are. I know Jeff's obviously been big into it, so you've probably been following what he's done. And
real quick, in case they don't know, Teespring, you guys, is that place where I'm selling all these shirts and was using Facebook to sell $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of shirts every single month for like $1,000 ad spend. It was like taking candy from a baby. It was awesome, but now that's gone away. So you got to learn this hybrid method.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then we're actually going to do a live demonstration today. We're going to make money during this presentation. And we're going to use CPA offers. If you're not familiar with that, we're going to get into what that is. But it's basically using the same hybrid traffic source. And the reason for that is we show you different ways that you can you can make money online with it. We're going to cover a $96,000 profit case study, so you can see every step, in detail, what we do to do that. And then we're going to take questions and answers and have some fun. So anyway, that's what you have in store for you today. So I want you to make sure you put away Facebook, put away your cell phone. Give us about, I'd say it's probably going to take us an hour and maybe an hour 15 minutes to get through all the content, and I think it's going to be worth your while. All right, before we get going though, I do need to give you a proper FTC earnings disclaimer before we get into this, and it's mainly because you're going to see money being made, and because of that, there are guidelines in place, and I have to give you this disclaimer. I cannot promise that you're going to make any certain amount of money doing anything that I teach you today. Okay, the results that you're going to see, there are results, there are earnings, and I can't say that they're typical because I don't consider us to be typical. I don't know you. You may not be typical either, and you can replicate it as well. But they are replicatable, but I can't say they're typical. All right, and I also can't promise you anything as far as you're making any certain amount of money. They won't let me do that. Okay, so I need to get that out of the way so we can get into the good stuff. All right, okay. Let's talk about Facebook traffic, because we should probably play a sad song at this point, because I think this is dying. Not that Facebook's dying. I'm just saying from some of the ways that some of the marketers are able to use it and have been able to use it. It's like Google, and it's growing up. It was great. While it lasts, and if you can get it, it's fine. But you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And here's some of the issues with Facebook traffic. Okay, every new traffic source runs into this problem, except for probably the one that we're going to talk about today. You've got recent increased competition. A lot of Facebook courses out there. A lot of people now teaching how to use Facebook. So a lot more people. Prices are going up, which means less profits for you. Like you said, they just have started cracking down on like Teespring campaigns and other types of direct marketing ads, and even banning accounts. At this point now, and so you're not even able to run the campaigns that you want all the time. So that you got less profits there. Well, we actually had this exact same issue. It's been this way forever. So we used to run CPA affiliate offers on Facebook, and if you're not familiar with what that is, we'll cover that here in just a minute. But it's basically just an affiliate offer. They're typically like lead generation type stuff. We were crushing it, but we started seeing the competition go up. Facebook was banning accounts for that. You had to use a cloaker just to get any kind of traffic, and that's just not a really great way to run any kind of business. And so we really started looking, at what we needed to do, and we realized that we had to diversify. All right, and if it hasn't hit you yet, as it just hit Jeff, you've got to diversify your business. All right, let me see if I can get this slide. Next one there. So if you're not diversifying that business, you're building your house on like one pole. And if that pole goes down, your whole house is done. And we know that if you're going to be in this game any length of time, you cannot just rely on one traffic source. Facebook's great, but you can't rely on them solely for your traffic. And we started really researching all the different traffic methods and looking at all the different ways that we could generate traffic. And we started seeing one method that had a lot of really good positives that we liked, and so we started exploring it. And this is the result of when we started using this one traffic method. This is a screenshot of $1.3 million earned in an affiliate account during this was just the first 18 months of us using this traffic source. All right, so we were learning how to use this. But not only did we generate $1.3 million in that particular traffic source, we also created an opt-in list of
wait. 12, go back to that. Go back to that screen, John. Go back to that screen. Yeah. Can I get a heck yeah on the chat from anybody who likes to see results like that, or even a fraction, just a taste on the tip of your tongue of some of that kind of profit? In the chat, you guys, let me get a heck yes or a hell yes or some kind of expression of positivity that you like these kind of stats and you want to see these kind of stats in your business. Come on, guys, step up. Okay, they're stepping up. Go ahead, John. I got to get them fired up every once in a while because these are big numbers.
sometimes I don't realize how much money that really is, when you start stopping things about in that
you've been
time
totally
frame.
deadened to it because you've made so much money. It's like, yeah, it's just like 1.3 million, whatever.
Yeah, I need to stop and really realize that. And it is phenomenal. I mean, and it has everything to do with the traffic source. I mean, and we're going to teach you this here in just a second. But as a byproduct, though, like I was saying, we generated an opt-in list of over 12 million. And I know if you're on Jeff's list, you know what an opt-in is. An email opt-in is what I'm referring to. And if you had an opt-in list of 12 million that you could send out an offer to that was relevant to them, do you think you could make some money? Yeah, absolutely you can. There's the saying, the money's in the list. And a lot of internet marketers, you'd be surprised. I mean, their list, to put this into perspective, I would say, Jeff, your typical internet marketer probably list is, anywhere from 20 to 50,000, maybe 100,000. If they've been in a while, maybe 100,000. We're talking 12 million. Now, granted, it's, different niches or different verticals, but still, that's a lot of leads.
It's all the people in Los Angeles, and all the people in New York, and all the people in Chicago put together.
Exactly. Yeah, we should probably put that in the slide. Actually, that puts it into perspective, because it's numbers until you start really thinking about it, right?
Yep.
So, because of this, and because of, like I said, the traffic source and things like that, we're going to show you here in just a second. We were also, the 1.3 million was just one account. We actually had multiple accounts because we promoted different types of offers. This was another account that just earned $116,000. That's a lot of money. Same time period, same method. We had this account that earned $102,000. We had this account that earned $80,000. We had this account earned $64,000. We had this next account with 54.
Hey, John, give me one of those. Give me one of those accounts.
Just drive the traffic for you.
Yeah.
And then the run of the litter was 24,000, which is still a good bit of money. That's, sad to say that's almost getting into like what, some people make. A teacher starting out, in some areas probably makes $24,000 a year, and we did it. And this was over an 18-month period. All of this combined was over $1.7 million. Okay. And that was while we were just learning what we're doing. And that's why I said we made over 2 million. We've actually made a lot more than 2 million actually, but we don't want to get too crazy, because we want to keep this realistic for people as far as what's achievable. And what we've done, like I said, I'm not going to say I can't promise you any money, but I can say that what we're doing, it's replicatable, because we learned it from someone else. So, we know that it can be done. Now, this was over an 18-month period when we first started. Let me show you guys just some recent earnings, just to let you know. We do this every day, every month. Here's a screenshot from one day in one account. It was a couple of days ago. It says yesterday, but it was a couple of days ago when I took this. 27.19. All right. And then last month, in that particular account was $62,500. And again, we've got multiple accounts. This is one of our better accounts, but we do have multiple accounts. And so, looking at last month, it was well over in the six figures combined. So just from this right here, and it's consistent. So we have solved what I consider to be the Facebook problem, what used to be the Google problem. I don't even bother with Google anymore. Not that it's not good traffic, but we just don't even bother with it. So the way that we solve this Facebook problem, there is a traffic source that you can get just as much or more targeted than Facebook, believe it or not. And you can get a larger target audience and deliver just as much or more traffic than Facebook. People seem to think, Facebook is the end all be all these days from a targeting standpoint, and they do have great targeting. But there are ways to do it outside of Facebook, and if you just know what you're doing. So I'm going to ask this question, and it's whether or not we want to keep going. So who wants to know? Because now we're about to get into the meat of everything. Is it okay if I go ahead and let you guys understand what we're doing?
We got to get 100 people saying, yeah. Come on, guys. Do you guys want to hear the secret how this works? Oh, they're hungry, John. Look at all that.
Give me T-bone. I like it. All right. Okay, so, and this is going to blow a lot of your minds. Some of you know this. I mean, I see some people on here that I recognize their names and everything. So, but the scope of this is always amazed me. The source that we use is something called commercial email marketing. Okay, this is, I need to make the distinction because a lot of you guys have been taught incorrectly. There is something out there called spam, and that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, this is fully legal and fully compliant. There's Luke and I have a philosophy about this, and it's breaking the law is never an option, right? So this is fully legal and compliant email marketing, and it's done in a way so that you can generate just traffic on demand, whatever kind you want. There's only 3 steps to it. All right, it's a very simple system, and that's why we love it, and that's why it works so effectively. If you have the components. First one is leads and emails, and we're going to show you how to do this in just a second as far as acquiring this. But leads and emails, so you got to have something that you can send to. You've got to have some way to send email. You can't do this on Aweber. You can't do this on GetResponse. You can't do it on. They're not going to let you do the type of commercial email that we're going to show you. So, but you do have to have a way to send it. But there's solutions out there for that. And then you need some type of offer. We have affiliate offer, but I mean it could be your offer. It could be a Teespring shirt offer. It could be anything that you want to promote traffic to. Okay. And so that is basically the simple system. And the real trick is the targeting. Believe it or not, you can actually target better than Facebook. All right. And I think a lot of you are not going to believe, you don't believe me when I say that. So we put this slide in here. Don't believe us? All right. So we're going to show you right now. Luke, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to let you kind of walk them through this demo.
Cool. All right. Thanks, John. All right, guys. What's up? How we doing? Good. Good. Okay, so what I want to cover here is what John talked about in terms of targeting, because a lot of people look at email marketing as just this, super generic or really small scale, or that you have to build a relationship with your list and all that. I want to break down a lot of those barriers and kind of show you guys how we do this, and I think how you should do it as well if you really want to kind of replicate the types of results we're getting. So what I want to do is take you over to show you how we acquire lists, and then we'll break it down. We'll break all 3 of those steps down into detail. But first, I just want to show you what types of lists are available, because here's kind of the big kicker here. The way we generate our lists isn't by the typical means of building a little squeeze page and then spending a bunch of money and driving traffic there and hoping people opt into your little list. Okay? That's not how we do it. We actually bypass all of that, and we just go straight to the huge list and we just buy them. We just buy our email lists, okay? Now we actually buy them with a way we can do it with zero risk, which is you don't have to put money up, which we'll talk about. But the bottom line is this is a different way to do email marketing, and you really kind of become, as I like to say, a big dog right away. You just bypass all the little stuff and all your tiny little opt-in lists and traffic and all that. You just go buy the list outright. So what I want to show you in this demo is just the types of lists that are available, the sheer size, and really the different niches that you can get, which is unlimited. I know when I saw this for the first time, I was completely blown away. So I hope to kind of open your eyes as well to that. So let's do this. Let me pull up a mailing list finder, and we're going to talk about list brokers, and we don't necessarily recommend this one. We're just using this because they have a really good search interface. They're too expensive for the types of marketing we like to do, really. But bottom line is this: we're going to search for a couple of different niches here, and I know we've talked a little bit about Teespring.
How about
you
sports?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I have a demo where we're going to talk about that. So let's do this. Just because I know a lot of you guys are familiar with the whole selling T-shirts on the Teespring thing, or affiliate offers or whatever, I want to pick some individual niches where you could have a lot of success. If you guys look, you've probably seen a lot of T-shirts like targeting like nurses, right? So T-shirts like, this nurse loves the
a football team or
Miami
something.
Heat,
Yeah.
right?
Or sleep with a nurse. Feel safe. Sleep with a nurse.
Exactly. So, and the reason those are so popular is because at this point is because with Facebook, you can really target down very detailed. In other words, you can target down your traffic just to nurses very easily. What I want to show you is Facebook is actually plays second fiddle to purchasing niche lists because you can target a lot more deeply and a lot more detailed with list buying, which surprises a lot of people. So let me just show you this, for example. This is a list, and you can see there are over 2,500 lists just from this one broker. There are thousands of data brokers, by the way. Just from this one broker, active nurse specialist, 7 million email addresses you can just buy. Now, here's what I want you to think, okay? If I were to put up a little squeeze page and drive traffic to it, how long do you think, or let's say you did that, how long do you think it would take you to get 7 million nurses to opt into your list? I can answer that question. It'll never happen unless you have a gigantic budget and a whole lot of time. It's just not going to happen, right? So that's why I always say this is a much, much better way to do list marketing. Bypass all that crap. Just buy the list, okay? So 7 million nurses. Here's another one.
Hold on a second, Luke. So you're saying there are companies out there that own all this data, and they are willing to sell it to us for a price so that we can market whatever we want to all these individualistic people who are part of millions of different niches out there.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, and
did you guys know
actually
that?
gets better than that because I want to kind of qualify sell because we're actually going to show you a way to be able to buy these without when you already know they're profitable. It's pretty crazy. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, so there are companies that you approach, and just like I'm showing you here, and you can buy a list in pretty much any niche. Let me show you some details here. Like I said, 7 million emails overnight is the only way to go as far as I'm concerned. You can try to build your own little list if you want, and I bet you every time I'm going to beat you because I'm just going to buy a list of 7 million for a fraction of the cost that it would take to generate that. So here's what's cool. This particular list, just as an example, you can drill down this 7 million even further, right? So you can select them on the basis of their nurse type, their work environment, their specific specialty, their concentration or focus, the books they've bought, based on the patient illnesses they serve, based on the prescription drugs they're experienced with. You can't do that on Facebook, okay? It's not going to happen nearly as effectively as these types of selects. So everybody always flips out and freaks out of how cool Facebook targeting is, and I'm always kind of like, kind of sucks as far as I'm concerned compared to this particular type of system. So you can see here tons of different selects and different work environments. You know, you can chiropractic facilities, clinical labs, cancer centers. So think about the types. For example, going back to a Teespring example, use this for anything, but Teespring's great here. Think about a cancer-specific nurse T-shirt. You going to do pretty well with that? Probably so. How much competition do you think you're going to have with that? Probably zero, right? Because everybody else is trying to market based on just generic nursing. So really, really powerful here. Let me just show you another example. Again, this is a list of NBA basketball fans, okay? Now, if you go to Facebook and you try to target, for example, nurses, this is just an example, you're going to come up with, which we did this last week, about like it's going to be under 1 million, okay? So you can try to find nurses. You're going to target about 1 million people. So this is 7 times the reach, All right, same thing with a lot of these other niches. This is NBA basketball fans, 7.6 million that you can have right away. Now, you can filter these based on the specific team they like, etc. Okay, now here's another piece of this, right? Think about targeting these people on Facebook. Let's say you've got a Miami Heat shirt. You want to target the Miami Heat people. Well, I can guarantee you people have been doing that already. Here's the difference. They're only targeting people that Facebook shows them are a fan of Miami Heat. Right? So you can actually do, and Facebook it's a little hit or miss at this point with custom audiences, but you can do a custom audience off of this list that you purchased. So these are people that are not tagged as Miami Heat fans on Facebook, but they are, right? And they've either bought something from the Miami Heat store or, watched the Heat on TV or whatever it is for this particular list, right? So really, really powerful. So this is really a triple threat, which we'll talk about in a minute. Bottom line is pretty much any niche. Here's another example I like to use. Let's say you have a cooking website, or you've got an affiliate offer for a recipes handbook or whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Let me just give you an example. Cooking, right? A niche you would normally think, okay, not that huge. Check this out. People that are subscribed to a cooking magazine, 55 million email addresses. And you can have those overnight.
Hey Luke, let's pull the audience real quick. Hey you guys, what niche do you want us to look up? Throw a niche in the chat box there, and we'll see if we can just prove to you guys this works for any niche. Okay, martial arts. MMA, martial arts.
Sometimes it gets a little funky with two word searches on their search engine, but we'll see what we get. Martial arts enthusiasts, let's see. Not a huge list here, 30,000. I mean, I say not a huge list. How long do you think it would take you to get 30,000 opt-ins? 17,000, 15,000. Probably if you did, let's just do an example. Let's just do MMA, for example. UFC, MMA spectators, 6 million.
Holy crap, look at that. Those people are passionate fans.
Yeah, I mean, huge. So, I mean, I don't care what it is. Here, somebody said fitness. That's going to be huge. I mean, you're going to have 1 million of those. We did weight loss before. I think there's a list of like 60 million people who have purchased a weight loss product. 60 million? It's pretty insane. So, bottom line is, the point of this whole demonstration is to show you guys that not only is Facebook and Google, if you want to look at Google too, not only are they not the only place to go, but in my opinion, for multiple reasons, which you're going to see, they're second fiddle. Okay? Because there's a lot of reasons we'll talk about. But bottom line is, you can get any niche you want. You guys following this? Are your gears turning now? Hopefully. Yeah, somebody bleeped out like, yeah, exactly. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so it's pretty wild. So let's get back to kind of looking at a little bit more detail here what we're talking about. So here's the benefits to email, okay? Just think about, and there are more, but here's some. Bigger audience, basically overnight. In other words, when you target on Facebook, you're not targeting as big of a list as you can just go out and buy. So it's a smaller reach. You have more targeting power, which relates to more profits typically. You don't have to get your ad approved. Nobody can spy on your ad when you send out emails unless they happen to be on the list that you emailed. And even so, good luck, for them repeating what you're doing with email marketing. And you don't have to worry about your account getting banned or any of that other stuff, right? So tons of benefits to email. In fact, it was really kind of a triple traffic threat because you get to do a lot of things. First, you get to send them an email when you buy the list, obviously. So you get to make money right off the bat by sending them emails. And you can send them emails over and over again. You buy the list. We don't do list rental. We do list purchase, right? So you actually buy the lead. You can email them over and over and over again, tons of offers. Okay, so that you already win with that. But you can also take that same list, upload it to Facebook. It gives you a custom audience. These are people, a lot of them, who haven't kind of shown their hand that they're, for example, a Miami Heat fan on Facebook. Yet you know they are because you've got their email, right, from a targeted email list. So these are really, really ripe customers because everybody else is just using Facebook targeting. So huge. And then you actually also get to retarget people that open your email, which opens up a whole other world of traffic where you can buy ads on pretty much any ad exchange and you can attack it that way. So really you get a lot of extra benefit with email marketing. You guys see the power in this so far? Have I been pretty clear about how, I mean, your head should be, somebody should be peeing their pants right now. Yeah, so somebody said huge. When I saw this for the first time, I definitely had to change my pants. So, all right, so here, let's do this. We've talked about email marketing. We've shown you some ways to get targeted lists. What I want to do before we break down each step and show you how to get your lists and all that is I want to actually do a live demonstration. I actually want to send an email live so that you guys can see exactly how it works instead of just typing a bunch of text. So hopefully that's cool with you guys. So let's pull up the system here. Let me re-log in. I'm going to have to log in. I'm sure it's kicked me out by now.
Real quick, as you're getting this ready, Paula's like, she keeps reading stats that say email marketing is dead and deliverability rates are getting harder and harder to get through. Excuse me. So what I want you guys to watch is this demo. This demo will prove to you guys without any shadow of doubt that email marketing is alive, it's well, and it's eating the competition, and you got to come and dine with us because this is working.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line, guys, is people that talk about, here's my suggestion, just as a general life rule. Don't listen to anyone that gives you advice that isn't in the place you want to be. So if the person isn't making at least $2 million a year with email marketing, they don't have a freaking clue what they're talking about. Just a quick tip. So I can tell you for a fact email marketing is alive and well, and it always will be until email goes away, which is going to be quite a while from now. So let's do this. Let me log in to the platform. We'll actually send an email out. I want you guys to take note. See if you think you can do this, or does this look like it's very difficult, or we are, some kind of marketing genius phenomenons, and it's just impossible for anybody else to do this. I think you're going to find that's not the case, and it's pretty simple. So let's do this. We're going to do broadcast. We're going to schedule a new broadcast. Name it Jeff Test Broadcast. Now, I've done two things prior to this. I went ahead and uploaded a demo, a list that I want to send to. It took about a minute, and I already typed up the email I wanted to send, so you guys don't have to watch all that. So less than 5 minutes of work prior to doing this. All right, we're going to confirm the broadcast. At this point, it's going to take us to a page that kind of asks us, here's what you want to do. You sure you want to send it? And we're going to send to the list I uploaded. The email I already typed up, which I'm going to show you what we're sending out here in a minute. And we're going to send it to 95,000 people. Now, again, I know you think that's a big list. It's really small when you can just go out and buy the list risk-free, which we're going to talk about. So then we just schedule the broadcast. That's it. Done. You guys think you can do that? How many of you guys think you can do that? Did that look crazy hard? Or
was that email like super long, like all this text, or is it pretty short and sweet?
It was, I think, 4 lines.
4 lines of text?
4 or 5 lines. Yeah, you definitely, a big misconception with email marketing is you have to be a copywriter. You actually want to be the opposite of a copywriter because all you're trying to sell is the click. You let the website that they land on do the selling. Really important. I see a lot of people trying to do email marketing and type of these big, long sales letters like it's 1998 and they think they're doing, internet marketing again and it's like one big, long sales. That's ridiculous. It doesn't work. So short, tiny little sentences. So anybody can do it for sure. So this email is going to go out. Let me show you guys what we're doing. We're sending the traffic from this email through an affiliate link to an affiliate offer. And let's just run the report right now to make sure we don't have any clicks yet. Not yet. So what we want to do is come back. This is where we're going to check the stats and see how that email did. Just to show you guys, you can send it live and it works. And so for anybody that says email marketing is dead, I'm going to have a lot of dollars here to say it's not. Just to kind of show you guys. But this is where we'll check it, and we'll come back. So let's go to back to this and break this down. As John said, it's 3 simple steps. So what I want to cover are these 3 simple steps first before kind of throwing it back John's way. So leads or emails, we have to have a way to send them, and then we have to have something to send them. In this case, we sent an affiliate offer, but like John said, it can be anything. So let's talk about step number 1. How do we get our leads and emails? Well, I just explained. We just buy them. We just go bypass all the crap, and we just go straight to what we call data brokers. Leads, emails, and data, all inexchangeable terms here, right? They mean the same thing. So basically, we go to a leads broker or a data broker and buy the list. You can also purchase from site owners and all of that. But here's the thing. You should be thinking, wait a minute, kind of alarm going off in my head. You said buy. Am I going to have to spend a lot of money here? Am I taking a big risk? Is this going to be like Facebook traffic where I spend $500 on a campaign and make 25 cents? Or, is that possible with this? How does it work? And here's the coolest thing about the method, in my opinion. It's what we call zero risk list buying, okay? If you don't pay attention to anything else today, I highly suggest you pay attention to this right here, okay? This is really important and is going to show you the power of this, right? When I saw this, I immediately went, boom, no-brainer, that's what I want to be doing, okay? So when you go to a list broker and you say, hey, Mr. List Broker, what list do you have? Kind of like what we just did with that little search engine there for that list broker. They send you a list or they show you a list and you say, I'm interested in this particular one, right? Nurses or whatever it is. They'll send you a free sample of that list, okay? Now, that sounds, okay, yeah, whatever. Well, here's what you get to do with that free sample. You get to actually email it, and at that point, you will be able to determine if the list is profitable for you. So you actually know if the list is going to be profitable for you before you ever have to buy it, okay? Let me repeat that, because I don't want that to sound like it's not a big deal or I want to drive it home. You actually know if a list is going to be profitable for you before you ever have to take out your wallet and buy the list. Now, good luck doing that in any other type of investment. I mean, that would literally be like being able to see if a stock is going to go up next week, would you buy it? If you knew for sure it was going to go up next week, would you buy it? Of course you would, right? No brainer. So really, we're talking about every marketer's dream here. You're only paying for advertising if it makes you money, all right? Now, going back to the Google, Facebook examples, think about it in terms of how you would normally get traffic from them. Let's say you go to Google and you would say this, basically. Hey, Mr. Google, I want to put my ad up on your little search engine there, but I want you to do it for free for a month, and then we're going to check our stats, and we'll come back to you after a month. And if it was profitable for us, then we'll pay you, Mr. Google. If it wasn't, thanks for the free ad. They're never going to do that in a million years, right? You can't do that with, as far as I know, any other traffic source out there. And I think I know them all. So if you guys have another one, let me know. But until then, this is going to be like, being able to predict the stock market, right? You know if the list is profitable before you buy it. That's huge. So step number 1, how do we get our leads? We buy them, but only after we already know it's profitable for us. That's huge. All right, so step number 1. You guys see the power in that? Awesome. Okay, yeah, no brainer, right? All right, so step number 2. Now you may understand why you can't use Aweber or iContact or GetResponse or something like that to get these emails out. They don't allow you to upload purchased lists that you purchase from a data broker. That's not in their business model. They don't know if maybe you stole the list. Maybe you don't have permission to mail those people. They don't know, right? So they can't allow you to do that. So you really only have 2 choices then to get your mails out. You can either build out your own platform, like some crazy people like John and I have done, and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably creeping up there close to 7 figures by now. Or you can go the route which most commercial email marketers do, which is just lease out a platform on a monthly basis that is geared specifically to this type of email marketing. That's really important because purchase lists, you're not going to be able to use Aweber GetResponse or your own server or some little WordPress plugin or something like that. It's never going to happen. You have to be able to mail huge volume to purchase lists. Okay, that's really important. So it takes a special platform to do that. So now you know step number 2. You got to have a system that is basically designed for this type of email marketing. We'll talk about some of those in a minute. Then the third step is you need something that makes you money, obviously. So you either need to send them, a link to your Teespring shirts or an affiliate offer, whether it's CPA or ClickBank, or your own products or services, or if you're a member of a network marketing company, really anything you want to promote, as long as it makes you money, you can do here. Okay. So what I want to do here for the third step is show you what I emailed today, or a very similar offer to what I mailed, just to show you another look, right? This isn't just for Teespring.
Is there any fear of, like, if I put my own personal link into a mass email, that maybe my domain's going to get shut down? I mean, what's the reality of that? Just to alleviate people's fears about, there's so many people have so many misconceptions about commercial email and pushing their own stuff through, or even an affiliate link through, that maybe that website's going to get shut down, or their domain's going to get taken away, or their email account's going to get removed because it's commercial email. Can you address that real quick?
Yeah, and kind of going back to the platform, if you're trying to do this out of Aweber or iContact or GetResponse, you're probably not going to have an issue with your domain, but Aweber is going to shut your account down immediately. If you try to do this out of your own email account, your own hosting, some kind of WordPress plugin or something like that, your hosting account's going to shut you down. Now, when you do this with a commercial email system that isn't going to shut you down, then you have the question of, okay, what about my domains and things like that? And I can tell you, if you follow best practices and you're emailing good content to people who want it, which you should be doing, you shouldn't buy a list of nurses and send them something about alligator farms, right? I mean, you got to be relevant. As long as it's relevant and you have good user engagement, you're going to be absolutely fine. Now, here's the funny thing. What if you screw up and a domain name ends up getting blacklisted or whatever? Okay, so you spend $9 and you get a new one. Right? You're making thousands of dollars a day. Another domain name isn't a big deal. But typically, you don't have to worry about that at all. I mean, we've had the same couple of mailing domains for, many, many, many months now, right? So.
Okay, cool.
I always recommend using 2 domains when you're mailing, just so you always have a backup. But so, as I said, you can really send anything you want. I just want to give you an example of like what I mailed for the demo. And again, the point of this is to show you guys it doesn't matter what you send in your email or how you make your money. It doesn't matter, right? This is just a traffic machine, all right? So in this particular case, I sent out a CPA affiliate offer. That was a zip submit, which basically means the person hits the page, they enter their zip code, they click continue, and we get $4. So all the person has to do is put in their zip code, we get paid $4.
You gotta focus on that. People, did you even realize that you could do this? Because most of you don't even know that this exists. All a person has to do is put their zip code into that yellow box, and they will pay you $4 for giving somebody something they have to do for free, which doesn't cost them any money to put their zip code in there. The company pays you $4. Can I get some response in the chat like, heck yeah, I want that money, or this is for me? Let me see some excitement and engagement. Who wants to get offers like this given to people where you can make money just for people putting in information on a capture form? They're not buying anything, guys.
Exactly. They're freaking out. So the point here, the person doesn't have to buy anything, right? Because this company knows that's the advertiser here that owns this affiliate offer, they know how many of those people eventually turn into a customer later down the road, maybe on page 2. Maybe they have to fill out a form or whatever. But that company knows, all right, everybody that fills out a zip code, long-term customer value to us is $8, let's just say. So we can easily pay affiliates $4 for every person that puts in their zip code. Do you guys get that? Is that cool?
Everybody says, I want it. What's the link? How do I get this?
Yeah. So bottom line is, this is the types of offers you can mail. If you had a list of, let's go back to, the nurses in the NBA, 7 million for the nurses, 7 million for the NBA people. If you had a list of 14 million people, how many of those people do you think probably you could get to put their zip code in here? Quite a few, a huge amount, especially if you start to look at targeting, right? And you start to target down even further. But this is just a general interest offer, because I also want you to get out of the mindset of, I want you to focus on niches, but also get out of the mindset of niches, because let's say you buy a list of nurses. How many of those nurses do you think also need car insurance? Probably a huge percentage of them, right? A large percentage. So very important that you're able to further monetize the list with general interest offers beyond just that little t-shirt you send them or whatever else. And that's how you really start to pile on the money. Okay, so those are really the 3 steps, right? We buy the leads only after we already know they're profitable for us. We send them through a specialized platform because you have to, because you purchased the list. And we send them offers similar to this, right? So those are the 3 steps. Now, let's get back to what I want to talk about, which is, look at this as a traffic machine. As we showed you, you can send traffic for anything you want. What I want to show you is another example that we've used very successfully to make a lot of money with commercial email marketing that's different than affiliate offers. So what we decided to do is we said, okay, let's take a look at other ways we can make money, multiple streams of revenue with this same exact method. We know how to email, so what else can we email? All right, affiliate offers, Teespring offers, we can mail our own products and services, what else? Well, we actually wanted to try our hand at network marketing, which I had personally never done before. I was always kind of actually turned off by network marketing initially. I changed my mind very quickly when I saw the capabilities here and kind of what was actually going on. You guys familiar with network marketing? Maybe companies like Power Network or Pure Leverage or something like that?
My list is a lot of biz op people, a lot of network marketers, a lot of work from home people, so they totally get this.
Awesome. Yeah, I see him coming in. Yes. Member of a network marketing company. Cool. Let me show you guys that haven't really understood the power of maybe the Teespring stuff or the affiliate stuff. You're going to get the power of network marketing then, right? So let me show you what we've been able to do with the same exact method, just basically sending a different email and a different link promoting network marketing instead of an affiliate offer. Okay. We actually joined the Empower Network to test that. It's obviously very popular. Over 200,000 people in the Empower Network. And it was very online centric, so it made a lot of sense for us. They already had, sales funnels and the whole thing. Low ticket, high ticket. It was just a good choice for us. So we chose them. This is the Empower Network leaderboard. This is the total income leaderboard. This is obviously the important leaderboard. These are the people that made the most money. The last 7 days, we hit number 1. And the last 30 days, we hit number 1. You'll probably recognize some of the names on this list that are below us, right? We didn't hit the all-time list yet. We haven't been members long enough because we're not, we're brand new to testing this out. But obviously, it's worked pretty well. This is us collecting our $452,000 check at the last Empower event we went to just a few months ago in Miami. So not too bad for just testing it out to see if it works.
When did you guys jump in, Luke? Like, how long did it take to do that?
We promoted for under 60 days, wasn't it, John? We sent blasts for like 45 days, something like that.
You made $500,000 in 45 days?
Yeah.
Insane.
$500,000. Yeah, we did close to $500,000 in about 45 days. It was definitely we emailed for less than 60 days initially as we tested.
Well, and we would have done longer, but Empower Network, they launched their Blog Beast platform. They were having problems, so we paused it really until they got it all sorted out. So
here's another really important thing. That 452,000, because it was such a tiny short time period when we were promoting, none of that money, literally not a single dime of it, came from any of our downline. That was all our personal sales. Okay, because a lot of people think, oh, well, yeah, you lucked out. You got one guy that did like $1 million under you. No, exact opposite. We did everything. Like I said, we're not really network marketers, so we don't do the whole rah-rah, the downline, and all that crap. We haven't really gotten into that yet. So that's all us. Okay, really important. Now, how did we do it? Well, I can tell you right now, we had an unfair advantage, which was commercial email marketing, because all these other people are trying to promote with their little squeeze pages, right? They're paying for Facebook traffic or solo ads or something like that, and they're driving their tiny amount of traffic to their little squeeze page and generating a tiny little opt-in list and hoping that they can convert those people into sales, right? We took the absolute opposite approach. We used commercial email marketing like we're talking about here. We tested a list. If it was profitable for the offer, then we bought the entire thing and we mailed it. And then we moved to the next list. So we really had a huge unfair advantage here. You can have the same unfair advantage in any market you want to get into or anything you want to promote because of that zero risk list buying. I can't drive home how important that is. Well, there's 452,000 reasons right there why that's important, okay? So, and 452,000 more reasons to show that person email marketing's not dead. So now here's the question. This is pretty cool. Like, okay, so you guys saw me talk about sending the email, and you know, Jeff brought up, which is a good question somebody had, which was, you know, what are you putting in the email? In other words, if I'm not an expert, am I going to be able to type these emails and make it work? So we really thought that out. We actually had a guy we were training kind of issue this to us as a challenge or kind of a joke, and we kind of took it as a challenge, which was, he said, look, I'm figuring this out, but you know, if you guys could just email for me, I'd appreciate it. You know, we all kind of got a laugh out of it. But then we got to thinking, what if we could actually email for you as someone who isn't an expert in email marketing? What if we could choose the offer for you? We could write the subject line. We could write the body copy. We could schedule the email to go out. We could press a send button. After all of that, we could then optimize the offers and copy intelligently based on how your list performed, you know, on the previous day, right, and the previous days. And we actually figured out a way to kind of do this, duplicate our expertise in somebody who wasn't an expert emailer. Okay, and this is pretty cool. Because of the nature of email marketing, we can do this. We actually developed a system in our platform called Automated Profits. And what it does is actually chooses the offer for you. It sends out a proven email for you, and then it automatically, intelligently optimizes itself to make you the most money possible. Similar to how, if you guys are familiar with like an ad server for banners and how it can kind of optimize itself, our system can work the same way with email marketing. Okay, so let me show you an example of somebody who actually did this, and let me show you how this works. You only have to do 3 things to use Automated Profits and kind of duplicate expertise. Our expertise. You enter in a list that you want the system to send to. You select a sender profile, which is basically just a from that you set up. And then you put in your PayPal email so the system knows where to pay you. You click save, and that's it. At this point, the system every single day emails that list you've designated and continues to optimize itself and finds out what offers are working for that particular list. So this is a real, I hate this term, but this is really push button marketing here. I mean, you set it up and you let the system mail for you. In fact, here's somebody who's doing that, and you can see here, this is the number of emails sent out, a pretty solid amount of money made every single day while the system mailed for them. In fact, about $8,500 a month pace this person had for loading in a list and letting the system do all the work. Right? That's pretty powerful. Now, what I do want to say, this is to drive home how automated you can make email marketing. You don't have to sit there and hover over this. You don't have to, you know, do tons of adjustments and all that. If you just test different data sources, load them in, that's really all you have to do, right? Optimize. This person did what we call, they pulled their openers and clickers, people that have either opened an email in the past or clicked an email in the past. So they're hyper-responsive email readers, right? Take your openers and clickers. We told them move those openers and clickers over into the auto-profit system. Let the auto-profit system automatically email those people for you every day that are hyper-responsive, and these are the results that they achieved. Right? Pretty awesome if you ask me. Right? Very, very automatable. So, let's get to, before I go on to the next part, let's do a demo of you guys want to see if we've made any money yet, any profits on that email I sent out? Or you guys want to wait until the end? Or we can do both. You guys want to see it now? Okay, yes. Both. Okay, we'll do both. All right, so let's look now. All right. So we're at 0. Let's run the report here. Wow, not too shabby. $313, 232 conversions so far. I think this is an email submit that I sent out. Is that, what do you guys think on that? Is that 313 reasons why you should be taking a serious look at email marketing? You saw how much work I had to do. I told you I loaded in the list and I typed the email up. It took less than 5 minutes. And then you saw exactly what I did to get this email out.
You had me at hello, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So what we'll do is we'll actually come back to this and we'll check it again later. But just to show you guys how quickly and how easily you can, make this type of money. Now, obviously, here's the thing. We had, an unfair advantage. I already knew this list was going to work for this offer because we tested it before we bought it. Right? So I knew very confidently that if I sent the email to the rest of the list, we were going to make some good money and profit, right? So that's, again, why it's so important to understand that zero-risk list buying and why this is completely different than other forms of traffic. Okay, so huge. All right, so at this point, let's get to the big question. You guys want to see what we've got so that you can duplicate this entire system before we go to the case study?
Who wants to see what these guys got? Say me in the chat box right now. Type it in capital letters. Me. Right now. Type it in. Everybody, get on your fingers and get them clicking and tapping and working. Who wants to see this system? All right. Just want to make sure you guys are awake.
Awesome, Jeff, you got an awesome group of people here. These people are so engaged and positive and intelligent.
I've trained them well. I've done a lot of webinars, Luke.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I can tell. So, bottom line is we've actually got a way to where you guys can duplicate this. And let's talk about that now before I throw it back to John for the case study and everything. There's 3 steps here, as I talked about, and we figured if we could solve all 3 of these steps for somebody that was new and really kind of hold their hand through it and get them over some hurdles, they would have some success. So let me show you some guys that were able to really replicate our success, that were not email marketing experts, because we're supposed to be able to do this. I mean, I've been online since 1999, so I should be making some good money by now, or I should have quit a long time ago. So what about people that aren't experts, haven't done this before? Here's somebody. This is one of my favorite things they sent us. Note to self, I made $2,400 while I was sleeping today. Right? That's an $880,000 per year pace from someone who wasn't an expert, who was running one campaign and had scheduled the email to go out. So they scheduled it to go out, night before or maybe even week before, whatever. Got everything, ready to go. Took a nap that day. The email went out, and they cashed in $2,400. That's awesome, right? That's from someone who was not an expert. So here's somebody else, $25,000 in their first 90 days. Here's somebody else in 2 different affiliate accounts, over $20,000 in their first 60 days. Okay, so the point of this is to show you guys that it's not just us, right? This is a system. It's a method that works. It's a formula, okay? So anybody can replicate this if you just put in a little work, right? So let's talk about how we were able to get these people to do this and what hurdles we knocked down for them. Because the bottom line was this: everybody trying to learn a method like this is going to have certain hurdles they run up against. We've shown enough people how to do this that we know exactly what they are. So our goal is to knock down every hurdle so it's like smooth sailing for somebody to come in and just roll. So let's talk about each of those hurdles and how we solve them. So anybody who's interested in this today, this is kind of what we've set up to knock down the hurdles. Okay, the first hurdle we knew people would have would be leads or emails. All right, we knew that not everybody already had a list, or we knew it could take a couple of days to test different lists from brokers before you bought your first one, that type of thing. We did not want that to be a hurdle. So what we do is give away 5,000 free leads every single month to each person. They're completely unique, okay? So obviously if everybody was emailing the same 5,000 people, it wouldn't be too effective. So completely unique leads. And that's a good jump start to get you started, to get you mailing right away, to get you everything set up, right? That's really cool, and hopefully it's going to make you some money. However, 5,000 leads isn't like a giant amount. A lot of people want to scale much quicker than that. They want to send 50,000 emails out, 500,000 emails out. So the next hurdle is kind of getting you to that next step. So here's how we've knocked that down. You actually have the option to purchase more records directly from us if you haven't found your list broker of choice yet, and you can do that at 2.5 cents each for each email address. They're yours. You email them as many times as you want, right? That's great, but really we don't want to be data brokers. That's not our business. And more importantly, we don't want you to rely on us. That's as you've seen today, relying on Facebook or one thing in business is a really bad idea. So what we do, the most important thing I think, is show you exactly where we go and exactly what we do to get and find our data sources. So that way you're reliant upon no one but yourself. Right? You go out and you can do exactly what we do. You can scale as quickly or as slowly as you want without being hindered by anyone. Okay, so how are you gonna get leads or emails? We've knocked that hurdle down 3 different ways. So that's completely solved. Leads or emails, done. Here's the second step though. How are you going to send these emails? Here's the next hurdle people ran up against, especially when we were training. We trained a couple of friends on how to do this and stuff in the beginning, and we'd get to the point to where it came time for them to lease out a platform, and we'd say, okay, you need this particular platform is going to be $10,000 a month, or you can go with this one. It has a couple different features. This one's $15,000 a month and a $5,000 setup fee, and people would freak, right? That's a pretty big hurdle. $10,000 a month is a big hurdle for a lot of people, and that's a big risk. So we knew that would be a huge problem. So we figured out an easy way to solve that was just to give you access to our custom sending platform where you can do this. It's designed specifically for this method where you can send an unlimited number of emails. There is no limit. You can send traffic to any offer page, website you want. As long as it's legal, you can do it. And you can upload and send to your own list, to lists that you purchase, to lists that you're rev sharing on, you name it, right? You get access to the custom sending platform. So the second hurdle, how are you going to get your emails out, completely solved, done for you. The next one, what if you're not an expert affiliate marketer? What if you don't have Teespring campaigns that you know are going to work? What if you're not a member of a network marketing company? What if you don't have something to promote? And we did not want that to be a hurdle either. So what we decided to do is give away a turnkey campaign every single month. And what we call a turnkey campaign is basically everything you need to email a successful affiliate offer. So you actually get the subject line, the email body copy we're using, and the actual offer. All right? So that way you can start out mailing something that's going to work well and while you test. Now here's the thing. That's great, but what we found as another hurdle, we would give an offer, like I gave an offer to my buddy, and he's like, oh, that's great, but I don't have access to that network. And he couldn't get approved because he didn't have a referral, he was new, and so CPA affiliate networks can be difficult to get into. So what we did, we approached the networks we work with directly, and we said, look, we're going to train these people on how to do this. will you give them guaranteed approval to the network? And they said absolutely. So we have the top 5 or 6 networks we work with have all agreed to give you guaranteed approval into their network. Okay, so that hurdle's knocked down. So now you've got a turnkey offer that you know is going to work well, and you know you can get access to it. You know you can be a member of that network guaranteed, which is pretty cool, right? So every single hurdle there, all 3 steps we've tried to knock down. But then we found a couple of other hurdles which we can talk about. That's the 3 steps, and that's great. That covers all the tools you need. But here's the problem. What if you don't know how to use the tools? So obviously you need some training on that. So we have all that covered for you, literally step by step, day by day hand-holding videos where you watch us walk through the process for that day, and then you just repeat exactly what we did. So if you can make a sandwich, really, you can do this. If you can make a bowl of cereal, if you're on this webinar right now, you can do it, right? It's structured so that non-technical people can pull this off, which is quite a feat because email marketing can be pretty technical. So we've taken care of most of that with our platform. Okay, so the next thing is more training. So that's great. You got the videos and all of that, but we also do live help sessions because this industry changes regularly. There are new updates to our system that we release, lots of different things. We have regular help sessions, and these are so that you can come on just like this and ask us questions live, and we can help you out. We can, critique campaigns, whatever. We do all kinds of different things. Sometimes we have people come on that are having a lot of success and kind of talk about what they're doing. So those are really cool and helpful, right? So that's the training, takes care of that. And then, of course, you get the whole automated profit system that I talked about that comes with our platform. There's a whole mobile redirect thing that's amazing that you'll see where you can tap into people opening emails on mobile phones, and really it's just a highly advanced system. We can't cover it all here. There's just no way. So if you want to take advantage of this today, here's what you get. You get all the training you need, the live updates and help sessions and all of that, licensed to the custom emailing platform, which, by the way, we sell that under a different brand name to high-end commercial email marketers for over $3,000 a month. Right now, you wouldn't pay anywhere near that, but it's the same exact thing, just rebranded for them. Then there's a turnkey campaign every single month, the 5,000 unique and cumulative leads each month, the auto profit system, the mobile redirect system. We have a retargeting feature. We have all kinds of crazy stuff, and a risk-free guarantee. So you get all of it. Okay. Now, I do want to mention 2 other things, because if you want to take advantage of this today, we've got 2 cool things. One is we're going to double your data. So we're going to give you an extra 5,000 leads for your first month. So you start out with 10,000 instead of just 5, which is really cool. Obviously, the more leads you have, the more money you can make. So that's a really good jump start, having a list of 10,000 people, right? The next little bonus we've got for you, which is pretty cool, because we had so many people ask us how in the world we were able to come in and dominate in power, we actually have a special behind-the-scenes training that we've done and show you exactly what we did. And there was a whole strategy to this. We had kind of a little front end, and so you'll see the whole thing on exactly how we did it. Okay, so that's a pretty cool bonus too. Now, the next thing I have to mention, which is important before we get you a link and get over to part number 2 with the case study, is there are only 23 spots available today, and that's not a stupid scarcity marketing tactic or any of that crap. We only have so much data available. We've obviously got to give you guys data, So we count up how much data we've got, and we say, okay, we've got this much data available. This is how many people we can service, right? So there's 23 spots. As many people and as good of people as Jeff has on today, you probably will want to jump on it pretty quick, because I bet while we're covering part 2, a lot of those will be gone. So everybody's going, awesome, get to it. What's the price and where's the link? So let me do that first. Pricing. As you know, I just talked about the platforms that are 10,000 and 15,000 a month typically that handle this type of email marketing. Well, we actually had a guy on one of our help sessions that said this to us, which was really cool. He said, I've bought $10,000 courses that don't measure up to you guys. And we said, hey, Fred, do you care if we use that? And he said, dang right, you can use that. Right, so what we decided to do is kind of take into consideration the typical pricing for this type of a system and kind of Fred's advice here on the $10,000 course. And we decided to price it accordingly at just $9,999.
Why so low, Luke? Jeez.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. It's not 10,000. That was a really late and bad April Fool's joke. So it's not $10,000. We wanted to make this affordable. That was the whole point of knocking down that affordable hurdle like I talked about. So what we decided to do is price it this way. It's just $14.97 for the first month, and then $2.97 a month after that, as long as you want to be a member. Right? Cancel anytime, that whole thing. So you guys already know what you get. We already covered that. I won't repeat that. So if you want to take advantage of that, visit the URL you see here on your screen and do that right away, because, like I said, when John's covering this case study, I'm sure a lot of those 23 spots are going to be gone, if not completely. Okay, so take advantage of it now. One more thing before I pass it over to you, Big J. I want to cover the risk-free membership here, because I know people are going to be buying right now, so I want to clarify that. We have a pretty cool risk-free membership guarantee. I think it's one of the strongest I've seen. What we do is we really structure this guarantee so it's really attractive to people who are absolutely serious, and it's probably not so attractive to people who are just looking to do this for entertainment. Like, we want to limit these spots to people. Since we do have limited spots, we want to make sure anybody who gets in is really serious. All right, so here's how we structured our guarantee. Basically, we say this: if you're a member or have been a member of our system for 60 days, and you've actually emailed like you're supposed to for 60 days, in other words, you've used the system for 60 days, like we said, and you're not on pace by that point to at least cover your monthly membership, then we're going to fix what you're doing wrong, because you either have something, you're just not emailing, or you have something set up wrong, or you need some more data or whatever. So in other words, if you're doing what you're supposed to do after 60 days, we've got your back. So you get our back and you actually take action and you're serious about this, and we'll have your back and make sure that you are, it's not costing you anything out of pocket to do this. I mean, that's not the point. The point is for you to buy into a business, and that's how you need to look at this. Is a real business, right? This isn't some clickbank push button thing. You need to buy in seriously and as a real business, and if you do that, we've got your back. Okay, so that's our risk-free guarantee. So let's go ahead and John, you want to take over and show these guys this campaign we made almost $100,000 on, and kind of how it worked.
And Luke, can you help me out in the chat too? Because
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions popping in here. I don't know how to answer these questions. A lot of interested people.
Sure. Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
John's taking a nap, I guess.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
No. I was saying in the chat box. I was just giving you a hard time.
Oh yeah. All right. Let me. All right. Make sure you guys can see that.
Yep.
Okay, great. So let's talk about this case study. I'm going to break it down into every step that we took in order to generate that revenue. Actually, that was profit. 965 was profit. So first off, you got to get a list. So we approached a list broker. We asked them what they had available. They sent us a spreadsheet, okay, and this was just some screenshot. It was actually a very big spreadsheet, but just to kind of give you an idea, 2 million records, 3 months old. They were getting 15,000 a day new, daily. They were getting 1 million that was 3 months old here. 1 million that was 3 months old here. So anyway, I mean, just tons and tons of data. It'll tell you, what country. It'll tell you, the type. Like this was the investor niche, and then typically it'll give you a price. Okay, so that's usually all the information that you need. And then you decide, or we decided on a list that we liked. The cost for that list was 2.5 cents per record, and we asked them for a free sample. which is the risk-free list buying approach, and they gave us a 2,500 records that we could use. So basically took those 2,500 records, and we sent out a test email that we knew, we used an offer that we knew, would convert if that list was any good, and we made $51 in revenue just from that test email that we sent out. So, that's not a lot of money, but here's the thing. We were excited because basically if you take 2,500 email records, divide it into the $51 we made, that's 2 cents per email just on the very first email that we sent out. If you guys remember, the cost of the emails were only 2.5 cents. So we were almost paying for the entire list, just with the very first email. So imagine, we knew on email number 2 we were going to be profitable. All right. So we basically, after that point, it was kind of a no-brainer, right? Go ahead and purchase the list. Now, of course, you can, if you're doing this, you don't have to purchase the entire list. You could purchase like another small segment and do a test. And but we were comfortable with the broker that typically, if it worked the first time, the rest of the day would work really, really well. So we emailed that full list, which was 140,000, over the course of 6 months. And let me show you guys, this was the results from 1 day of mailing 6 months after we bought the list. Because a lot of people think that the list is going to die after a couple mails. It doesn't. I mean, we mailed that list over a 6-month period, and this was $1,378 here, $988 here, and that was 6 months later. Okay, so if you do the math, we did $2,366 just that, just in that 1 day. All right. So how did we do that? Well, we sent out 70,000 to each. We did 2 different affiliate offers. When we mail, there's actually a very small charge per email. And if you mail through our system, if you get involved, we will teach you, and when you get to a certain scale, you will also have a small charge, but you're not, you're never going to pay that, unless you're making money, because look at this. We made $2,366, and it only cost us less than $80. So $2,366 was our revenue. $79.80 was our cost to do the actual mail, send out the email. So our net profit for that day was $2,286.20. So to kind of put that into perspective, because you may be like, well, $2,000, that's a nice earnings, but what is that? If you look at it on a monthly basis, that's $65,000 a month, and annual is over $800,000. And the thing with email is that you can mail every day and generate money every day, just like that. So those aren't unrealistic projections when you're mailing that type of volume. So how were the lists at that point? They were 6 months old, or the list, I should say. The two that we mailed independently were the same list. 6 months old. How many times did we mail it? Well, we had mailed it about 100 times. We didn't mail it every day over those 6 months, but we did mail it about 100 days out of that 6 months. So was the list laser targeted? No, it wasn't laser targeted for the offer that we mailed. Was it a very specific niche? No, wasn't a specific niche either. Did we make about the same every time we mailed the list? Well, different offers do respond differently. Sometimes you're going to get a really good offer and it converts really well, and sometimes you just get a mediocre one. So we actually look back at what we did over that 6-month period, and we averaged about $1,000 every time we sent out to that list. So we sent out 100 times, so $100,000 was, it was actually a little bit more than that, but conservatively it was $100,000. So we made at least $100,000 revenue on the list. We spent 2.5 cents per email record. So our cost for that list was $3,500. So how do we make 96.5? Well, you take the revenue that we made, subtract the cost of the list, and our profit was 96,500. Because this number already reflects deducting the cost of send. Okay, so this was our sort of our net revenue after sending. So our only other cost was purchasing the data. So $96,500 profit. Now look, a lot of you might be looking at this number and saying, I don't have $3,500 to buy 140,000 records. When we got started, we started with 1,000 records. You don't have to start with 140,000 records, and so you can start with whatever you can afford. That's just what we spent, and we didn't spend that money until we knew that this list was going to be profitable. So I mean, it was really we weren't just taking a blind leap and just risking $3,500. You don't do that. We don't teach you to do that. It's an investment after you know it's going to work. And so, so don't worry about that. And then the final thing is, if you really don't have money at all to purchase any data, they're unlike Google or unlike Facebook, where if you don't have the money to pay for them to actually run your ad, you're not going to get any traffic. There are list brokers that will do what's called a rev share deal, and they will go ahead and let you mail their data as long as you split the revenue with them. So they'll work with you, and so you could still get a 140,000 record list. And the downside is that you would have only made $50,000, right? You wouldn't have made the 96.5. But still, I mean, there are ways to work around it. And then the next time you could afford to buy it. So don't worry so much. Don't get kind of tied up in any of these numbers. It's really just to give you a picture of what it takes to do this kind of business. So here's a summary. We emailed a free sample list. We saw it was going to be profitable before we bought. We then purchased the list of 140,000 records, emailed it once per day, only once per day, but like I said, not every day, about 100 times for around 6 months, and then we profited 96,500. And that's it. That's basically the life of a commercial email marketer, and those are the steps that you would take. It's just exciting because you can do whatever you want to with the traffic. So, all right, this is a little recap. I have no idea how many spots we have left. I don't know, Luke. I know you've probably been answering questions. I don't know if you checked or not, but
14 left.
Okay, all right. So, anyway, this is, like I said, a recap. Go to cmjoin.com/jm, and you can get started on there. Don't forget, you do get the special bonus for purchasing the extra 5,000 records, and you'll get this bonus number 2, which is our story on or how we went from zero to $452,000 earned in Empower Network. And you can replicate. I mean, it doesn't have to be Empower. I mean, the cool thing is what we did. You can really do just about any network marketing on the back end. It really doesn't matter. I don't know if Josh was able to get on today. I don't know if he was or not. Do you know, Luke, if Josh was able to get on?
Yeah, I think he is. Let me just find him and unmute him here. Yeah, let me find him and make sure we can unmute.
While you guys are getting Josh on, let me ask you a couple questions, John, about some similarities with Teespring and doing this, and maybe you can make some similarities for me and some connect the dots. With Teespring selling T-shirts, if you guys have been doing it or tracking with it, you might need to launch 10 or 20 campaigns to find the successful ones, and maybe you launch 10 shirts and 8 of them don't go, but 2 produce money for you. And that's kind of the way it works in the T-shirt niche. You're just throwing stuff out there. Not every design is going to connect with people. Not every niche is going to connect with the offer, but every once in a while, when you do it right, you're going to see conversions. With email marketing like this, is it kind of the same thing, John? Are you looking to throw up 3 or 4 different offers to see what converts, and maybe one of them is going to convert? Or do we have better chances to dial it in so we're not kind of just hunting and pecking and like shooting in the dark? I mean, how certain can we be with matching the right list with the right offer so we don't have to guess?
Yeah. So the cool thing with email, and the reason that we like to do it, is think of offers, kind of like an inverted Christmas tree, and email So basically at the top, if you invert a Christmas tree and you're at the top of the Christmas tree, forget the trunk, but just the branches, it's wide, right? And if you're at that top level with an offer, let's take the one that like car insurance, for example. When you send out an email and you're sending to anybody an email list that's over 18, well, and they drive, I mean, you have pretty much everybody on that list has a need for your product. So you're not going to really be risking anything as far as, it's going to convert. Now, how much it converts obviously depends on other factors, but it's not like you're not going to get any kind of conversions off of when you're doing something that's so needed by everyone. The further you go down that, sort of that inverted Christmas tree, and the more specific your targeted offer becomes, then you've got to pay attention more to the list and make sure that list matches up from a targeting standpoint. But the way that we teach it, we do general broad audience type offers, insurance, finance, things that everybody needs. And so you're not really guessing whether or not it's going to work. It's just a matter of how much does it work. And so, some days you might, like, I don't know, we'll see where we end up here, but I mean, that was kind of that was going to be, I think it was an email submit that Luke mailed for insurance. And, we sent out to 94,000. We'll see where we end up. We're already at $300, right? So it's a matter of like how many people that day read that and decided that they wanted to, change their insurance. That changes all the time depending on who's on that list. So, but everybody nonetheless wants to save money. So they're going to be interested. So it really does depend on the offer that you're going to promote. And we recommend, if you don't have a very targeted email list, then don't send very targeted offers, because then you will have a problem. But if you know that your list, like Luke showed earlier, you know that they're rabid NBA basketball fans, then you can send them targeted offers, and that's going to even convert better, because maybe they're not interested in changing their car insurance, but man, they're all about NBA. So I think it's a lot easier, to be honest with you, Jeff. I mean, as far as getting conversions, there's not a time that you can send out an email and not make money. As far as in our experience, I mean, when you're sending out email, you're going to make a return on it. It's just a matter of how much that return is.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, because I really want people to understand it's not I mean, you've got better chances here than you do with Teespring, where you're guessing, and hoping a design is going to work, where you've already got proven campaigns and proven email copy, proven offers that do convert. So your chances of success is so much greater, okay? And that's what I want to give you guys. Is I want to give you the most opportunity with the best chances of success without having to guess your way into it. And I don't like that, and neither would you guys like that. That's why I got Luke and John here, because they have something that works. It's been working for a long time, okay? And I know it'll work for you guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to that point, I mean, that is a good point. We built this for making it so it doesn't really cost anything, even if you do want to test out offers, and find those winners. Whereas in Facebook and Google, you're gonna pay, to test. Whereas on our system, there's really once you have the list, and I mean, you can mail as much as you want. So I mean, you can test multiple offers to that list. It doesn't really cost you anything more. So that's a good point. Josh, I see Josh is on. Let me, if he's ready, I'll kind of give a quick intro. Josh is one of our members, and he basically, I'm not going to say he's a typical member, because I don't want to do that. I want to be FTC compliant. I'm not going to say his earnings are typical or anything like that. I am going to say, though, he's a member, and works with Cobra, and has been doing it for several months. Probably, well, I guess really about 6 months now. But his story is really kind of the average person's story in terms of what he does and things like that. So I just, he's one that has really put this to work. He's done really well, and I just always like to hear. I know people enjoy hearing rather than from us, because we're the creators of the platform and we know what we're doing. So this is somebody that just came just like you guys, and started working with us. And so anyway, Josh, are you out there, man?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, I just wanted to go over a little bit about what I did, just because I know whenever I went through the webinar about the middle of last year, I know there were some questions I would have liked to have asked somebody that's went through it, so I just want to make sure I could answer some of those for a few of the people that are listening.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could just kind of share what's been your experience so far, and more specifically, kind of how you've done with your earnings and things like that, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah. First, basically, just to cover this, I don't have a background in internet marketing or in computer programming or anything like that. I came from a sales job with a phone company, rhymes with Horizon. I don't think they want me using their name, but that's still who employs me now. But and I've worked with Cobra Mailer since about September. Whenever I first got started, I was skeptical to see that I could just come in and learn it, but honestly, the training that they provide, I got started really fast. And in the first month, and just in September, I made right at just close to 2,500 just the first month. And basically, there was a learning curve where I was getting training for the first few weeks, and then I hit really well with a few offers in October, and I did right at 16,500 in October. So the first 2 months, yeah, it blew up. And then, one of the offers, one of the mistakes that some people make in the beginning is not having, enough offers working. I had one that went down, so November it slid back a little bit, but I still did about $6,600 in November. So I mean, as supplemental income to me, it was obviously huge. I went out TV shopping, buying 70-inch TVs as soon as I could, and then yeah. Speaking of Christmas, December rolled around. I was still moving some offers around, still doing over $3,200 in December when I wasn't even doing very much. I was busy with shopping and holidays and all that. So
John didn't even know how well you were doing. So
yeah. It was. I mean, it was shocking. And I know that not everybody's first month's going to be that way, but somebody's was. So that's what everybody needs to know. I know if whenever I would have listened, if somebody would have told me what you can actually do, and especially coming from no expertise in the field or anything, just coming in and following the training and absorbing it up like a sponge and doing what you're told, that's what kind of money you can make.
that's awesome. That's really cool to hear. I mean, that's amazing. Somebody said, I just happened to notice in the chat, somebody said, why are you still working at quote Horizon?
I'll tell you why. It's really simple. Because you don't have to put that many hours into this, and I don't know how to transfer my benefits and insurance yet. But as soon as I can, I'm out of there.
That's awesome. That's absolutely incredible. Well, I mean, I think that's good, Josh. We just kind of wanted to give them an idea of someone from their perspective and kind of the experience, someone who's had some success. And
sure.
Obviously done an awesome job.
Well, thank you. I'm just glad I stumbled across this idea and that I signed up.
Yeah, well, good job, Josh. Thanks for coming on too. Really appreciate it. Okay, so anyway, that gives you, his perspective, if that helps, and we're proud of him because he's really done well. We do have. Other members that, these are some screenshots that they've sent in to us, and in their excitement, that like the first thing that they've ever tried that actually made them money, which is fantastic for us. That's what we want to see. So anyway, at this point, I know. Oh, you know what we need to do? Let me check and just see what. I want to check stats and let's see where we're at on that. And then we'll take a few questions and we can wrap this thing up. I know we've been on quite a while, so let me do this real quick. We were earlier when Luke checked was 313 in this report. Okay, so Yeah, we're at 957 right now. So
That's about an hour. It took about an hour to make almost $1,000.
yeah.
Anyone want to
And
make
that's
$1,000 an hour on this webinar? Anybody? Just for setting up an email, taking 15 minutes to queue it up and push a button and collect the check. How often do these guys pay, John? Like how long does it take to get paid by the CPA networks?
Weekly. They usually pay every Friday for the week prior.
And you can get that direct deposit right in your bank account or a check or.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so you'll get paid weekly. I mean, when you're first starting out, they'll pay you monthly, but or I mean, I should say, until you're doing $1,000 a week. Once you get to $1,000 a week, they'll move you to weekly payments. But yeah, I mean, it's fast.
And this, how big was the list again that you mailed to? About 95,000. What was it?
That was right at 95,000.
95,000 people. About an hour's time's gone by. And that email will drip out over how long of a period would that actually keep dripping out before it delivers it all? Or does it deliver all 95,000 pretty much right there?
We set that out to go ahead and go out.
Okay.
All 95,000. Just because we knew we needed, I mean, we only had a limited amount of time. So normally, we'll schedule a drip for to take 4 to 6 hours, depending on how many we're sending. But we needed to kind of get that one out there, and that's why the revenue happened that fast too. I mean, because we got all delivered out there, so pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, on average, like I said, on 100,000 to 150,000, I mean, depending on the offer, I mean, you can make between $1,000 and $2,000 a day. That's kind of our goal and the sweet spot. When you start, there's multiple ways to do commercial marketing, but we treat it. I mean, you can send millions and millions of emails a day, or you can send a couple 100,000 a day, and have a nice basically a nice lifestyle business kind of deal, and not really run into headaches and stuff. And that's kind of our approach to this. I mean, we don't want to send out 20 million emails a day. I mean, that's just not what we do. So,
okay.
There are guys we know that do it, but they are running like all the time, and they're running into all kinds of headaches, and so we teach what we feel is a much more sustainable, long-term approach to commercial email marketing.
Listen, guys, I got to jump in and encourage my attendees today with some words of wisdom. A lot of you said, this is great. I want to do it. The price is a little bit out of my range. And if that's what you're thinking, that's what I would say is all the more reason for you to go figure a way out to do this. And I'm not trying to hard close anybody. I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you guys. I mean, look what these guys are giving you for this price. It's $1,497. All I'm going to say about that is swallow and hard and cry once. Okay, let it out of your system. Yeah, it's a little bit of a nut to swallow to come into something like that. But just about every single one of you on this webinar could put that on a credit card. And if you do that, here's the biggest risk for you. Say you get in the program, you put $1,500 down, and then $297 a month. The worst thing that could happen to you is, let's say the first month you don't crack the code for some weird reason, it doesn't work that first month. All you're out is just the interest charge on your credit card. Some of you asked for payment plans. Can I get a lower payment? Can I spread this out over a couple months? The credit card buying method is actually the best way to do that, because you can spread your payments out how you want. You have control over that. And if you don't make money the first 30 days, you're paying 18% interest, okay? So it's not that much. It's $50, okay? 60 days goes by. It's the cost of actually having access to this is $100 of interest cost to you. But by 60 days, you guys, I mean, by day one, you should be able to go into this, because Luke's been told you guys, he has people that come into the system, they buy it today, and they're mailing today. Okay, so you can get in there right away. But even 60 days, if you just maybe you've been really busy, you got family issues, you got to take care of an elderly parent, or you have a sick child, or some reason you delay yourself from even doing anything. It's just interest costs. So look at it from that perspective. It's a cost of business. And most businesses that I know of that can make 6 and 7 figures a year, they actually cost about $100,000 to $350,000, and it actually takes a long time to recoup any kind of an investment back. Use that McDonald's or Subway franchise model. You're going to pay $1 million to join, McDonald's family, but you're going to have to wait 10 years before you can receive a huge payout because of all that startup costs you have to do. You guys, this is $1,500. Okay, $1,500 is not a lot of money, and if you don't have the money, find someone who does, because every single one of you have connections. Every single one of you has family, has friends who love you, and who, if you're passionate about changing your lifestyle and you're passionate about getting out of the debt situation you're in, if you're passionate about getting into something that finally will work for you instead of trying all the other stuff that's not worked for you, and you really want to make that change, listen to me. You will do whatever it takes to get yourself to that point. You will do it. Find a way, you guys. I had to do it. When I started out, I had to find a way. I financed my way in on a credit card because I didn't have the cash. Okay? If you take action, you're going to get results. Because what's the guarantee here, John and Luke? You said that you will work with people until they're successful. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, what we ask is for them to commit 60 days, and really put forth. They have to put forth the effort because, we're only 2 people, right? So, we can't do it for you. So you got to do it. But we've given it to you on a silver platter. So if you're not by days, and the reason we say 60 is because just what you said. Life gets in the way. We know that's just reality. So some people come in and they go strong for like 2 days, and then something happens, and they put it down for 2 weeks, and they come back. So you got to give yourself some time. This isn't I hate to say this, and I hope you guys. At this point in your life, you realize there is no such thing. Unless you win the lottery. There's nothing that you're going to do that doesn't take your own efforts to make it successful. If you're looking for somebody else to completely make you successful, I think you're just being delusional. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't run into it, at least. So you have to take responsibility for your own success. But that being said, you want to find the vehicle that can allow you to do that, and that's what we are. We are. We've spent a lot of time. Creating this platform so that people could start from scratch. And we have plenty of testimonials from people that use it every day. And we have people that have been with us since the very beginning. That speaks alone. Because they're spending $300 a month. And anytime that there's like any kind of hiccup or whatever, like our hosting provider one time, they went down for an hour. Listen, we heard about it. So we're on it that quick, but we know that they're using it all the time, because if they weren't, they wouldn't let us know. So anyway, my point in saying all that is you have to take your own responsibility for your own success. Work at it for 60 days. If you're not at the point where it's at least now covering its own cost of $300 a month, and so it's not coming out of your pocket, then that's when you submit a support ticket. You ask for some 60-day help, and then that's when either Luke and myself or our team, we have mailers on staff. So we'll get in there. We're going to look at your account. We're going to see what you're doing, and look at how many emails you sent out. We're going to see what you sent out, and we're going to start correcting it. And we're going to give you back that feedback that you need to self-correct. And then you're going to do it again, and we're going to get you there. That's what. So we're not looking, it's not, we don't do money back guarantees, because this isn't a system that we need you to try. Okay, we know it works, and that's all. So it's not a money back guarantee. It's for people that want to make this work for them. That's who needs to get involved, because that's what we're offering. Is we're going to be here for you down the road, I mean, like I said, we started in November of 2012, and we've improved the platform. We've worked with members ever since then. So, I mean, we're not going anywhere. This thing is going to be, I mean, we have big plans to make just a community of just, we can't take a lot, but, you know, we want to make a community of people, and pretty soon we probably will stop doing, you know, even invitations. So, because we're kind of getting at the level where I feel like we should just, you know, just focus on our members, and you know, that's it. But
we're getting close to sellout here, John and Luke. I got to ask you guys if we can open this up a bit, because we're about sold out here. Can we extend this? Will you guys give permission to extend this from 23 to 30? Because I don't want anyone to be turned away if they get on this late. So you guys take action. But is that something we can do?
Let's Luke, can you Skype our data guy and just see if he's got some additional data that we might could grab real quick? Jeff, I mean, let us ask real quick, just to make sure, because I don't want to promise that and us not have the data for him in case, you know, those extra spots. But it'll just take a second. As long as we get confirmation that we can get data today, that he's got extra, you know, that laying around that he hadn't sold. Yeah, we'll do that. So give us 1 second. We'll do that.
Okay. Is there any other part of the presentation that you wanted to cover, or do you want to jump into some of the Q&A?
No, that's it. We're able to take questions right now.
Okay, let me ask everybody this question then. So, guys, I want you to type in the chat. Okay, everyone who's hearing my voice right now, you're listening to this. There's still a ton of people on this webinar. First of all, thank you for giving us 2 hours of your time. I hope it's been worth it. I hope you've learned a lot of great stuff today. I hope you've been introduced to a concept, a platform, a system, a methodology that you can see yourself having success with, okay? It's worked for others. It's worked for these guys. It will work for you when you put the effort in. But I know some of you are sitting on the fence and you're just dying to ask a question. You have a big fear about something, or you're not too sure about something, and as long as you had that one question answered, it's going to put you over the edge, and you're going to say, yes, this is going to work for me, and you're going to do it. So I want that person to type in the chat box right now the most important question you have that's keeping you from not joining the system right now. What is that one question you need answered so you can pull the trigger? Because we want to make sure everyone gets their questions answered, okay? I understand that you have fears. I understand you have questions about email marketing, about will your accounts get banned, and what happens if people unsubscribe, or what happens if people complain. So if you have questions like that, throw them in the chat box right now. We'll stay here for the next 5 or 10 minutes answering and making sure every single one of you have questions who want to get started. We get you all set up, no fears, run into this thing, eyes wide open, having success. So drop them in those chat boxes right now, you guys. Drop all those questions you have for us, your biggest fears, put them in that chat box. There's no such thing as a bad question. We understand this might be new for a lot of you as well. It's okay. We're here to make sure all your questions get answered. So drop those questions in there. We'll just take them one at a time here, and then once we're done, we'll shut it down here in about 5 or 10 minutes. So go ahead, you guys, and start tackling each one as you see it comes up in the chat box. Let's see what we can come up with.
Edward,
just real quick,
yeah.
I can throw this in. Our data guy said yes, he can have some more data to us. He's confirming how much, but
okay.
we should. I mean, I said, you know, how much can we get? He said, well, just give me a minute. But he is going to have some. So.
Okay, we should be good then, because normally, I mean, he typically has enough to cover. You said 7 or 8 spots, so I mean, we should be.
Yeah, I mean, he might even be able to cover 10. I'm working on that now, but yeah, we should have plenty for some of you guys that are still waiting. So.
Okay, Edward, his biggest concern was can spam compliance. And completely, because that's ours too. You don't. There's the Can Spam Act, and there are rules that you have to follow. So as long as you follow the rules laid out in the Can Spam Act, and we cover that, you know, in detail. Our system actually won't email if you don't have And one of the big ones is you have to have an unsubscribe link that works every time you mail. You got to have a physical address in the footer that they can mail to and ask to be, request to be taken off of your list. So those two things we require. And then you need to make sure that the person, whenever you're getting the list, that they opted in, and they have a date of opt-in and IP address, things like that. So as long as you're following the rules, Edward, you are compliant with canned spam, and you can mail.
Yeah, canned spam means you can email. That's what it means, as long as you put it in the parameters of what's allowed. And a lot of people misconstrue that to think canned spam means you can't send commercial email or bulk email. And they think, and they look at those words, commercial email, bulk email, and think spammer, bane of the earth, the lowest type of marketer on the planet. That's not true, you guys. These are some of the richest people on the planet, some of the wealthiest people on the planet, because they have systems that get offers to people who want these. Think of it like this. The people you're mailing to are the highest targeted people who most likely want your offer. And you're solving their problem. You're giving them solutions to their problems. You're giving them lower interest rates. You're giving them better deals on mortgages. You're giving them better deals on weight loss products that are going to help them get results. You should feel good about that. And you're fully compliant with the mailing system.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hey guys, can we do one quick thing?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, he's kind of wanting to know volume. So if any of you guys that still want a spot and don't have one yet, could you just type in the chat box the word spot, please, so I know how much data to get and make sure you guys are covered. So if you're going to get one for sure, even if it's tomorrow or something, go ahead and put in spot.
Wow,
so
there's a lot of people that want a spot here. Joe,
Man,
Tim.
Okay. I'm gonna do my best. I'm glad I asked because I wouldn't have gotten enough. So okay. All right. If you already purchased, you're covered. You're good to go. This is just for people that still want a spot. Okay. I'm on it now. That gives me a good idea. Thanks, guys.
Okay, what's the next question, John?
Okay, so Alan asked a question. I think he may have asked a first question and I didn't. Okay, so question, no relay service. I'm not sure what the question is on that one, Alan. Can you maybe make that a little bit more clear as far as what you want to know about relays? But your second question was, how old domain names do I need to use? If I use a new domain name, how long will it take to use? I heard a new one doesn't work. No, that's not true. New ones work fine. It's if you can get an older domain name that has some age on it, but you got to kind of be careful that also that you're not buying one that was used for all kinds of crazy reasons or whatever. So just make sure you check blacklists and stuff, because a lot of them might have been adult or something like that, and they just expire because then they're no good for a lot of reasons. But so it doesn't really matter. You can get a new one, and so don't worry about that. It's really more about your creatives and it's about your data than it is the domain name. And we've got a training on that as far as like the type of domain name to buy, and so don't worry about that.
Do we have to get all of our data from you guys, John, or if we have other data sources?
Oh, no.
Do you teach us what to look for in other data sources if we can get a good deal on data? Obviously you're not going to go out there and buy someone's CD with 80 million records on it and just pop that in your deal. You got to be intelligent about how you do that.
No. Yeah. So basically, we have a whole training on how to find data providers. Now that being said, we have just worked out a deal with a company that they're a high volume mailer, and they are going to allow us to sell their clickers, which is like this. I mean, that's like gold. And we literally just signed the deal.
What's a clicker?
And we are okay. So basically, I don't know if Luke mentioned this earlier, but when you send out an email, you've got a couple things that can happen. Number one, the person doesn't ever get the email. Number two, the person gets the email, but they don't open it in their email platform. They just delete it. Number three, the person could open the email, but they don't do anything. And then finally, number four, they open the email and then they click a link in the email and they go look at the offer. Well, the action of clicking something in that email is referred to, or creates the category of that person being classified as a clicker, which is the highest category of action that could happen when you send out an email. Because that means, number one, the email was great and they were interested, right? Because they took action, they clicked a link, and they went and looked at it. That gives you so much information about that person that they know, you know, what kind of offers that they're interested in and things like that. You also know that they're an action taker. And that they like your emails, or they like getting emails. And typically you make your money. That's how you make your money. If it's only on the people that actually click the links. So those are the people that, you know, it's like a subset of all your emails that actually make you your money. There's only certain percentage that actually ever open or take an action. So these clickers are that's what you want. Those gives you the best chance of basically making money. And we worked out a deal. We're building the data store is being built, and it's in the platform, or will be in the platform. Should be next week. And people could basically just purchase clicker data, which is the best data that you could ever buy, because it's already been proven that they will take action. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to like the offers that you send it. So, I mean, there's still that, but you know for a fact these people will click offers that they like. And so that data is something that will be available to them now. But again, you don't have to get that. You can go outside, source your own data, and we would recommend that you do that, because you want to get you want to test all kinds of data sources, because there are some that are out there that are just going to be hidden gold mines for you, especially depending on the offers that you like to send. And some of you might send multi-level marketing or network marketing companies, and you want to focus on home-based business lists versus, you know, nursing lists or something like that, right? Or you know, senior citizen discounts or something, you know. So it really depends on the offers that you're going to send. But that being said, we are making it easier to get even the best quality data out there, and it'll be in the platform. So it can't get any easier than that.
And you're going to give people a winning campaign once a month, like a proven winner that's going to get a lot of responses to it. Yeah, we give them. We start out, you know, the very first, as soon as they come in, they get a campaign that is a known converting, and it's easy to convert. Okay, it's like a zip submit or an email submit offer typically, because those are very easy to convert. People don't have to pull out their credit card; they just enter in a little bit of information, and you get paid. And so those offers, and then we work our way up to a little bit. We'll work our way up. If we ever have a sale offer, you know, or cost per sale, then we'll give them that. But typically they're going to be lead gen type offers, and you get paid for the people putting in the information. So to start out, we give you the offer. You know, the network is one of the networks that you can get pre-approved in, or that you are pre-approved. You just have to go sign up and everything, and then that's pretty much it. So, you know, we give you the offer, we give you the creative that we use. We will tell you not to use the exact words, but, you know, modify it just slightly, so that not everyone's sending out the exact same email, but it gives you a great model that's a proven, you know, winner, and so you don't have to guess, basically. Now, if I wanted to be really, really tricky and like double bang it, and I still have a Facebook account, and many of you still have your Facebook ads accounts, unlike me. But can I upload those emails into a custom audience then, and then also have permission to drive ads on Facebook to those people?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the cool thing. You will have the list that you can do that. You can upload, and my understanding is that they aren't cracking down near as much on those kind of custom audiences if you're doing it through email as they did the UID ones where people are scraping.
Absolutely, yeah. Email uploads are much more trusted as proven to be something that you brought in because you quote unquote own the data or have the rights to use the data, and therefore your custom audiences will see your ads and you're not going to have any issues with Facebook. Go ahead, you guys, ask that big question. I'm looking for that one guy or that one girl who's got like, I'd love to get this, but I'm just not sure about this one thing. If you can just answer this one thing for me, that's a deal. That's a deal maker. I'm going to make this happen. This is something I'm going to do. So what is that one question you guys got to have answered before you move forward? Let us know what that is. You see anything come through, John?
I'm watching.
Question about the mobile user. That's a really good one. John, you want to show them the mobile thing?
Yeah, I can do that.
We do have a. They asked if we had a special system for that. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we didn't have time to put that in the presentation because today. So let me do one thing too. Let's just check and see. We were at 9:57. We'll just see if we've made any more money just for fun. Okay, yeah. So we're up over. We cracked $1,000, so that's good.
Hey, that's $500 an hour. Anyone want to make $500 an hour? That's not too shabby. And while you're pulling this up, let me give you guys some stats. When I market my ads on Facebook, I'm seeing a quarter of all my sales are coming from mobile devices. 25%.
Wow.
Coming from a mobile phone that sees an ad in the Facebook news feed. Okay? So mobile is really important that you also have your offers, because people check their emails on their mobile phones now, right? They check their emails on their tablets now instead of sitting in front of a desktop computer. And if that ad's not written right or the image is not right in an email, if you're using an image email and it's formatted incorrectly, it's not going to get the click. So I'm interested to see what you guys got.
So yeah, like I said, unfortunately we weren't able to cover the content, so it might not make as much sense. But in our platform, we realized that people were coming in from mobile devices, and the problem is when you're promoting an affiliate offer, if the advertiser that you're promoting, if they're not paying attention, their landing page could look horrible on a mobile device, just like you mentioned, Jeff. So what we decided is to take the power into our own hands, and we have a mobile detection and redirection system built in. So anytime someone clicks a link in one of the emails that we send out, our system will determine if they're on a mobile device or a standard display type device like a laptop or desktop. And if they're on a standard device, then you can send them to whatever link you want that would look good on that size resolution. But if they're on a mobile device, then you can actually send them to a completely different offer. I mean, it could be the same one or it could be a different one, doesn't matter. But it puts the power into your hands so that you can send your mobile traffic somewhere else that converts better if you need to. And so this is it made a huge difference. It actually started doubling our earnings when we started sending it to like an offer that was really highly optimized for mobile versus just a standard desktop type offer. So this is built into the system. The other thing I'll show real quick, we also have, like I said, retargeting pixels where you can send out retargeting. And so if someone opens your email, then you can have them on a retargeting list and run display ads to them, which is be really helpful for for anything really, but Teesprings and stuff like that, designs. And then unsubscribe pops. We actually, if you want, you can when someone goes to unsubscribe from your list, after they click the unsubscribe button, this actually does a pop under, and so when they close out their browser, they'll see one offer. You get one last chance, even though they're unsubscribing, to promote something to them, and either get them on another list, or or get a sale or something like that. So make a little bit of money before they're gone. So again, these are things that, as far as we know, there's no other platform that does this. Aweber and those big platforms, they don't really have this functionality. So we're marketers, so we focus kind of on that.
Luke, see anything come in that we got to answer yet?
I answered a few privately, but there's kind of a question. Basically, is mobile so big because the email client on the phones will display the bulk and spam folders? And the answer is actually no. Just more people check their email on their phone than they do their computer these days. Just a real quick story. I have a good buddy that works at Best Buy in the cell phone department, and he was telling me that these kids came in to buy cell phones, and it so happened to be in the discussion, I guess one of their parents was talking about buying a computer or something, and the kids were like, why would you get a computer? Like, they look at that as like an antique, like, why would you get a computer when the computer is in my hand? Like, they equate computers to like typing a paper for school, right? So you have to realize that the majority of the people now, which we've shown with our stats, are doing their email on their phone. So that's really the reason, not because it displays any special folder or anything like that. I was kind of blown away by that, like that generation gap of kids thinking like a desktop computer is like something for school, and their mobile phone does everything else.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. He was like, man, I felt really old.
Well, pretty soon we'll all be wearing Google Glass, so
yeah, exactly.
That'll go away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we've got.
If people go beyond that 60 days without having any results or family issues pop up, can they still get help beyond those 60 days, or like how long does that "I will help you" clause go for?
No, it's as long as they're a member. We ask them to do the system for 60 days before they ask for help, because what we found is if they'll do that, then they've already figured it out. So I mean, what we don't want are people to to come into the system and not do it. So that's why because we know this will work if they'll actually take the action, and we just don't want to enable people to sit back and not do it. So we ask you, don't request help. I mean, support help's fine, but I'm just saying hey, I'm having a problem or whatever. I mean, you can ask for help, but I'm saying the guarantee part, give this time to work, is all we're saying, because it will work. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you send out emails with an offer that, is somewhat relevant to a list, you're gonna make money. I mean, that's just hands down. Jeff, I mean, have you ever sent out emails to a list that with an offer that was somewhat relevant and didn't make money? I mean,
no, I make money every time I email.
Yeah, exactly. And so I mean, that's the point of it, is we know this works. It's just a matter of you got to figure out a little bit of things on your side and do the work, and then you're going to be fine.
Now, one question popping in was the offer you did for the demo here. Was that a CPA offer? Was that the same one with the image you showed of the insurance quote, or was it something different?
Same type. It wasn't the same offer, but yeah, it was the same type of offer. I think it was an email submit instead of a zip submit, but it was a auto insurance quote, basically. Okay. Find a better, cheaper auto insurance price or whatever.
And this is going to work internationally too. Talk about CPA offers that work in other countries besides America, and dialing in data that might be outside the United States, because we have quite a diverse international audience in my list scape.
Yeah, so it really doesn't matter where you live in the world, because it's all about what the people that you're emailing, where they live, and those are the offers that you want to target. So you could live anywhere in the world and target someone that lives in the United States, right? Or you could live in the United States and target someone that lives in Australia or any other part of the world. And so because of that, you've got to pay attention to the geo-targeting of your list and the offers that you're promoting. Now, all of our data that we give is U.S.-based data. So even if it doesn't matter where you live in the world, there's going to be the CPA networks that we work with. They don't care. You can live anywhere, and and then you're promoting to the United States. But there are plenty of offers. There are international offers, CPA networks that are all over Europe. There's Australia-based ones, South America-based. So I mean, we don't necessarily work with them ourselves, but you can still easily get into them, tell them what you're doing, and get approved because they want your traffic.
Right, because the key with that is to write if you're native, let's say you live in Brazil or whatever, and you wanna send something that's in Portuguese, and then you want to write that email in Portuguese and obviously have it go to a Portuguese, someone who lives in Brazil's email address, and it's that message market match that's going to give you more opens. The subject line is written in Portuguese, and so you guys, if you're international, you have those capabilities. This platform can scale for you and move with you in those kind of international markets if that's what you need to do.
And I will say that you have an advantage because, I mean, the United States is probably the most heavily marketed in this manner, and if you go into other countries, you're going to have less competition.
And there are lists, right? There are lists that are international based, country based, and language based, and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely, there are.
Okay, guys, you got. This is the 60-second countdown. You're getting the 60-second warning. If you haven't ordered yet, and you said you want a spot, you need to go claim that spot right now because we're going to close it down. We've made some extra extensions to get as much data as we can for everybody. We are going to sell this out, and so if you're not going to cmjoin.com/jm, you need to go there now and complete your order in the next 60 seconds, you guys. If you have any final last questions that haven't been answered, because we want to make sure everyone's questions got answered who's really, really serious about getting this, you need to type that in the chat box in the next 60 seconds. And if we don't see anything coming through here, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and wish you guys well for the rest of your day. So put it in the chat box. What is your final question that didn't get answered? What is your biggest concern? What is the biggest fear you have about this? Just be honest with us, because we definitely want to make sure you don't have anything holding you back. So we're not seeing a lot of activity here, so I think we've pretty much got people covered, you guys. We're going to give you 30 more seconds to get in and get the offer. You really need to hustle and get this because it is going to close out and sell out. Go to the link you see in the chat box. I'm going to paste it in there again. Click that link in the chat box. Here's a question that's popped in. How many people can make even 300 within 2 months? I mean, that's kind of a silly question. I mean, 300 would be on the low side of stuff. That'd be like sending a very small email list, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously the size of the list determines, the potential revenue. So, you're starting out with 10,000 email records. It really depends on if you go out and how quick you want to try and start scaling, your own data. So, when we bring the data store on, basically you can literally just go into your platform, and then if you want to, get a smaller. And the cool thing with the clicker data, it's already been proven out that they'll click. So, I mean, you should get a higher response rate from them. But that being said, it's really all up to you. If you want to make more than $300, I mean, you go out, work with a couple of data brokers, either do a rev share deal or purchase some additional data, something like that. And I mean, it's really just how quick can you scale. Our goal is for this system for you to be able to scale and it not come out of your pocket. Like by the 60-day period, just the data that we give you alone should be covering your monthly expenses. That's our goal for that. And that's why we said if it's not, we'll give you some additional data if we need to. If that's the problem or whatever, that's our guarantee to you. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's really more up to them as far as how much they want to scale.
Here's a great question that just came in, and I really appreciate you asking this question. It's how do you trust the data providers? Because her fear was that, hey, she's going to go spend some money now and buy some data, and she's trusting these data providers that maybe she got that sample, that first sample, showed it was going to be a good list, but then the data providers are kind of sneaky and they give her something different. I mean, what can we expect on that?
So my suggestion is to not go all in on any data provider or anything like that. And what I mean is, okay, let's say they've got, you want to ultimately get to 200,000 records or something from them. I would do it in increments. And I would start with a free sample, and then I would say, okay, if that worked, then I would say, okay, give me 10,000 records, and I'll buy them from you. And then kind of work until you have a trusted relationship with them, and they've proven themselves, at least once. I got burned, and that's why I'm telling you that, because I wasted like $30,000 one time, and it was complete waste. I was pretty angry, and and it was just, I mean, I didn't know anybody. No one told me to do this. Like, I just trusted them, and I mean, it wasn't all at once, but I'm just saying, like, I bought a data feed, and that was the cost of the data feed, and I got a lot of records, but who knows how many times you sold them and things like that. And I don't say that to scare people, because we give you we show you how to find more reputable ones, and in the system, but because there are some sleazeballs out there, no doubt about it, but don't do what I did and trust blindly. That's a great question. And so if you'll just step it up until you build have a trusted relationship. I mean, they know if they screw you over, though, I mean, you're not coming back. So I mean, they're in the business. Most of these guys want to be in here long term. So I mean, you don't have to worry like too much. But I mean, I definitely wouldn't just like go out and spend all your money on data that you had allotted at once. I would do it in sort of increments.
Great question, great answer. Thanks for asking, and congratulations. She says she's already gotten started, so fantastic. She's got one of the last remaining spots, you guys. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this webinar up, and we're going to close it down. And I'm just going to give you guys some parting thoughts here as we wrap this up. If what you're doing right now in internet marketing, if what you're doing as a revenue stream is absolutely crushing it for you, and you're making money with what you're doing online, and you don't see this as an opportunity for you, I couldn't be happier for you, because you're actually doing something that's making you return on your investments and you're making money. But on the other hand, if many of you who are listening right now and watch this today, what you're doing is not working, and you're not having success with internet marketing, you're not seeing results that you want, you're not receiving the kind of income that you know is possible based on what we've showed you today, based on the case studies we showed you today, and the true accounts of people making money with this, then the worst decision you can make is to walk away from this webinar and not do anything. Because we just gave you the keys to the kingdom. We've given you the keys to the promised land, and all you got to do is just turn the key and walk through the door. And that just means you got to make a simple purchase, you guys. And the worst thing that could happen with that purchase, if it doesn't work out for you, is you got a little bit of interest on your credit card that's going to pay off until you get it dialed in. Okay? And a serious business takes a serious commitment. It takes some serious as well as a upfront cost. $1,500 upfront cost is not a huge amount of money. And that's something every single one of you should be able to finance on a credit card, or get a loan from a friend or a family member, or go in your house and sell something on eBay if you got to, stuff that you don't need anymore. Do whatever it takes to get into the business. Don't overextend yourself, obviously. I'm not asking you guys to go completely spend your last mortgage check on this kind of thing, Be smart about this. But at the same time, if what you're doing right now is not working for you, you've got to make a change, and you've got to switch it up and do something that's going to work for you. Okay, this is it. This is the program. This is the thing you guys have all been waiting for. And you're going to have great training. You're going to have resources. You're going to have people walking you through this. John and I have been friends for several years. I met Luke for the first time about a year ago, and they're here still today because what they have proven over test of time is going to get you guys results. Not guaranteed, because I can't guarantee, but I will guarantee that they will help you as long as you need help for, as long as you're putting that serious effort into this. Do not walk away from this webinar without considering that and making a choice of what you want to do. And with that, I'll throw it to you, John and Luke, to make your final comments, and we'll end it. John, Luke, John.
Sorry,
Matthew,
sorry,
Mark,
I was muted.
John, Peter, Simon. Are the disciples still with me?
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I had muted there. I was just saying thanks for having us, Jeff. We're excited to work with the good folks that you brought on board for us, and seeing some great things for them. Everyone else, wish you the best.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Have a great time. We'll see you next time. Bye for today.
Awesome. Bye-bye.